how do you find these mentors? Do they find you? How do you even select that? So who are the people at MentorPass?
Yes. So part of the problem that we're solving is that there's absolutely no quality standards in this industry. And frankly, there's a lot of poor quality, underqualified people that are generally dangerous because they're advising people on big things to do in their life and they're not qualified to advise on that. Like I said, you're a mentor on something or you're qualified to advise on something if you've been through it and you've mastered it. But if you've never mastered something, it's dangerous to be advising somebody on it. And so what we've done is we've really created, I'll say probably the most elite group of mentors on the internet. And we've had about 6,000 applications to join the platform as a mentor. And out of that, we've selected the top 150. And so we've been very selective on who we bring on. And most of the people that are on the network didn't actually come through an inbound application. They came through an outbound referral because the most qualified people in the world are not out there, asking people, hey, can I come mentor your group? They're often out there building businesses and you have to get an introduction to them. And you're fortunate enough to get time on their calendar. And then instead of them saying, I'm really out there trying to build this business. And there are some people that are great full-time advisors, mentors, coaches, but for most of them, they're running companies full-time, they're operating companies full-time, and then they do this on the side. And that's a really important piece of the puzzle, because if you're not actually operating and you're just sitting in the academic world, you're not up to date with what's happening. And so if you're a coach that's selling programs on how to become a coach, yes, that makes sense because you understand the most up-to-date coaching practices. If you're a coach trying to teach someone how to market an e-commerce business or something like that, if you're not in the weeds, it's hard for you to stay really, really in touch with the latest.
You kind of lose credibility, right? Like
a little bit. And obviously there are full-time consultants that do this and are very good. But for the most part, what we do is our tagline is like learn from the operators. And so if you can think of any of the great digital native brands like Allbirds or Warby Parker or Glossier or MeUndies, any of those really great brands that were built online, e-commerce brands, we have head of growth from MeUndies or head of operations from Allbirds. And you can actually learn how the greatest businesses in the world were built because we connect you with the leaders and the operators from those brands.
I'm going to check. Maybe I want to sign up too. How does it work? Yeah. Like, let's say I have a business and I want mentorship. I don't even know what I want mentorship specifically in, but I know I need to grow in my business and maybe on a personal level as well. Like, how does it work?
Yeah. So the way that our business operates is we call it kind of ClassPass for mentorship. And so if you're familiar with the ClassPass model, it's a monthly subscription product. Every single month you get credits and then you use those credits with all of the different mentors on the platform. So like I said, you could have 3 mentors or 5 mentors, but if you get 30 credits per month, you're going to go and spend 6 credits with your marketing mentor and 12 credits with your legal mentor to get legal advice and another 6 credits with your financial mentor. So when we bring you into the platform actually helps you set objectives and key results or kind of goals. And then once you set those goals, OKRs. Once you set your OKRs, then you book calls associated with those OKRs. So another part of our process is these shouldn't be random calls to pick people's brain. They should be really focused on what's most impactful in your business, what's going to move the needle. So that's why we set the OKRs first, and then we attach those sessions and those mentors to the OKRs.
I'm going to laugh so hard because I use OKRs for Digital Nomads Daily. Like I am on it. Like I read all the books. I listen to podcasts about it. I'm like 100% OKR fan. And I'm teaching also my team to not just think about, oh, this is fun to do, but everything has to fit and sit within the OKR system. And if it doesn't fit in, we really need to reconsider. And then we put in our project management system. Like, is this just an idea that we want to build out? Or is this actually nurturing our OKR? So
that's awesome.
Okay. So you set the goals. So for people who don't know what OKRs are, like goals is shorter. So you set the goals and then you know what to do. And how long does this take? Like how long does a session take?
Yeah. So we offer 30 and 60-minute sessions. And so it's totally dependent. Some people just need a quick hit because it might be in more maintenance mode. I've already done the long strategy with somebody And now we're in more of a maintenance where we meet every 2 weeks. And then sometimes you might book back-to-back hour-long calls to really dive deep on a strategy for something. And so we try not to, like, we haven't made it super opinionated because we're really trying to keep it flexible so that people can use the system however they like. So we allow you to book 30 and 60-minute calls. You can book back-to-back 60s whenever you want. The cadence that we recommend is meeting with your mentor every other week when you're in a really intense strategy phase. And then when you come out of that strategy phase and you go into more of a maintenance mode, it could be once a month. But I think some of the things that typically go wrong when you're working with a mentor is you don't meet often enough. And so you lose momentum between calls, or you meet too often. That's why we kind of came up with the 2 and 4 weeks. If you meet too often, there's nothing to talk about on the call. And so we found that 2 weeks is generally enough time to make some progress between the calls and still also give you enough space to get work done. And so we really, when you book a call, you're forced to set an agenda for the call. And that way, when you go into it, you both know what you're talking about. You have to guide the conversation. You have to drive the relationship. That's true for MentorPass or any mentor that you find anywhere else in the wild. You really need to, as the mentee, you need to be driving the relationship, setting the cadence, setting the agenda, and telling that mentor what you need help with. And then over time, they can start to shape it a little bit more. But when you first kick it off, they really need that container so that they can, insert themselves and really provide some strong advice. So those are the two things: like, get the cadence right, make sure there's a lot of results that you're driving towards, objectives and key results. It's very clear what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And if you can do those two things, it can be a really great relationship.
That sounds so good. And then how do people get on the platform? Like, you buy your credits right away. Is there some sort of expiration that you do? Because is there a case that people aren't like ready to go with MentorPass?
Yeah, so our price point starts at $300 a month if you're on a quarterly plan. So it's a real investment. It's not a Netflix subscription. And so it's something that you should really consider. And if you're serious about it and you want to invest in mentorship, then I think MentorPass is the best place to do it. But when you're ready and you are fully committed to it, that's the time to get started on your subscription. We'll take you through that process where you set up your account, build out your OKRs, pick your mentors. So we're trying to build the system that you build it into your routine. And rather than going out and spending $500 a month at the bar, you're spending $500 a month developing your business and your personal kind of growth and everything. And so we're doing a lot to make it very routine so that you're checking in just like you check in with your therapist or anything like that, that you're constantly developing yourself. So it's really for that kind of growth-minded person that really wants to accelerate what they're doing in life and wants to invest in that.